What if I told you that one of the most vital organs for your survival, your liver, might be fighting a silent battle at this very moment, progressively accumulating fat and setting the stage for a future plagued by health complications you could otherwise avoid? Imagine discovering that the key to reversing this process doesn't lie in a complex pharmaceutical treatment, but in the latent power you already possess, hidden in the choices you make in your kitchen and your daily routine. Visualize for a moment the extraordinary ability to rejuvenate your liver, to restore its vitality and its astonishing efficiency, by using completely natural strategies that cutting-edge science, guided by visionaries like Dr. William Li, is now validating with growing enthusiasm. We are about to unveil a path of transformation you can embark on today, a path that will not only shield your liver, but also inject a new wave of energy and well-being into every cell of your body. Before we dive into the secrets to catalyzing this impressive liver recovery, if you sense that the information we're about to share could be a beacon of light for you or someone you value, I invite you to make a simple gesture that is an immense engine of growth for us. Please give this video a like and seriously consider subscribing to our channel. Your support is the fuel that drives us to continue bringing health and wellness knowledge to an ever-growing community. Now, let's get right into this vital topic. When we hear the term fatty liver, it's natural to feel a pang of alarm, and that reaction is justified. Your liver isn't just another organ. It's a true bioprocessing and purification powerhouse. Weighing about 1.5 kilograms, around 3.3 pounds, this titan works tirelessly 24 hours a day, orchestrating over 500 metabolic functions essential for life. It acts as a high-tech filter, purifying toxins from every liter of blood that passes through it. It's a digestive director, producing the bile needed to break down fats. It's a master regulator, balancing blood sugar and cholesterol levels, and it's a factory for proteins essential for clotting and immunity. In essence, your liver is the general manager of your body's complex machinery. Now, project this image. The hallways and workstations of this impeccable factory begin to get clogged, filling up with fat deposits. And we're not talking about the healthy fat you consume in your diet, but a fat that the body itself synthesizes and stores in the liver when it feels overwhelmed and overloaded, mainly by a tsunami of sugars, especially fructose and refined carbohydrates. This condition, medically termed non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, has become a silent epidemic affecting hundreds of millions of people worldwide, and its incidence is skyrocketing as we age. The real danger lies not just in the presence of that fat, but in the chain reaction it triggers: inflammation. A fatty liver is, by definition, an inflamed liver. And chronic inflammation is the breeding ground, the hidden root of the vast majority of chronic diseases we fear most in modern society. Over time, this persistent inflammation can lead to the scarring of liver tissue, a process known as fibrosis. If this scarring progresses unchecked, it can lead to cirrhosis, a stage of severe and largely irreversible liver damage that not only drastically compromises the organ's function, but also exponentially increases the risk of liver failure and other serious complications. But right here, amidst this worrying outlook, emerges the most hopeful news, the core of our message today. Your liver possesses a regenerative capacity that borders on the miraculous. It is the only internal organ in our body with the ability to almost completely rebuild itself. And the most fascinating part is that you hold the key to activating this healing superpower. Dr. William Li, a world-renowned physician and scientist and author of Eat to Beat Disease, has dedicated his career to researching how our bodies can heal themselves, and his approach crystallizes into a revolutionary concept: food as medicine. This isn't about submitting to extreme diets or unsustainable deprivations, but about strategically incorporating foods that actively fight liver fat, silence inflammation, and enhance your liver's innate ability to heal. So, what is the fastest and most natural way to reverse this condition? It's not a single trick, but a set of synergistic and powerful strategies that we are going to break down for you, one by one. Number 1. Unleash the power of polyphenols and antioxidants. Think of polyphenols as your body's elite defense army. They are bioactive compounds that plants produce to protect themselves from external aggressions, like ultraviolet radiation and pathogens. These compounds are responsible for the vibrant colors, intense flavors, and characteristic aromas of the plant world. When you ingest them, you are not just eating. You are deploying a sophisticated protective force inside your organism. Polyphenols are true superheroes for multiple reasons. First, they act as potent anti-inflammatory agents. Their mission is to fight inflammation at the molecular level, calming the irritation and cellular stress that fat accumulation causes in your liver. Second, they are antioxidants of an exceptional caliber. The process of fat accumulation and its metabolism generates a phenomenon called oxidative stress, a kind of biological rust that damages the membranes of liver cells, hepatocytes, and their DNA. Antioxidants neutralize these harmful molecules, known as free radicals, protecting your liver and creating the right environment for it to begin its recovery process. So, where can you recruit these brave protectors? The list of sources is as delicious as it is varied. Such as blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries are a true explosion of polyphenols called anthocyanins, the pigments that give them their intense red, blue, and purple colors. Multiple scientific studies have shown that regular consumption of berries can significantly reduce fat deposits and inflammatory markers in the liver. A habit as simple as adding a handful to your plain yogurt in the morning, incorporating them into a smoothie, or simply enjoying them as a healthy dessert can make a world of difference. Green tea is another extremely potent source. It contains a type of polyphenol called catechins, the most famous of which is epigallocatechin 3-galate, EGCG. Numerous clinical studies have validated that the catechins in green tea improve liver enzyme function and actively protect against lipid accumulation in the liver. Replacing that cup of coffee loaded with sugar or that soda with a cup of high-quality green tea can be a small change in your routine with a gigantic impact on your liver health. Even coffee, consumed in moderation, black and without additives, has shown to have hepatoprotective effects thanks to its own polyphenols and bioactive compounds. Dark chocolate, with a high cocoa content, ideally 70% or more, is a rich source of flavonoids, which not only improve blood flow to the liver but also protect its cells from oxidative damage. A small square a day can be a pleasure that is also taking care of you. And, of course, we cannot forget leafy green vegetables like spinach, kale, and chard, which are packed with polyphenols, chlorophyll, and other nutrients that directly support the liver's detoxification phases. The strategy is simple. Paint your plate with a rainbow of natural colors, because each color represents a different battalion of protective compounds working in synergy to heal your liver from the inside out. Number 2. Embrace fiber. Your body's internal broom fiber is all too often the unsung hero of nutrition, relegated to the background. However, when it comes to liver health, its role is absolutely stellar and irreplaceable. There are 2 main types of fiber, and both are crucial for the recovery of a fatty liver. On one hand, we have soluble fiber, found in foods like oats, apples, legumes, lentils, chickpeas, beans, carrots, upon contact with water in your digestive tract, this fiber transforms into a gel-like substance. This gel has an almost magical function. It acts like a net that traps fat and sugar molecules, drastically slowing their absorption into the bloodstream. This is vitally important for your liver for 2 fundamental reasons. First, it helps prevent sharp spikes in blood glucose. These spikes are an alarm signal for your liver, ordering it to quickly convert all that excess sugar into fat for storage, a process called de novo lipogenesis. By keeping your sugar levels stable, you take this enormous pressure off your liver. Second, this gel also has the ability to bind to bile salts and cholesterol, facilitating their elimination from the body and thus reducing the burden on your cardiovascular system and, by extension, your liver. On the other hand, we find insoluble fiber. You can find this in foods like whole grains, brown rice, quinoa, whole wheat bread, nuts, seeds, and the skin of many fruits and vegetables. This fiber does not dissolve in water. Instead, it travels through your digestive system practically intact, acting like a broom or a stiff bristled brush. It adds bulk to stools, which promotes regular and efficient bowel transit. A digestive system that runs like clockwork is crucial, as it ensures that the toxins your liver has worked tirelessly to filter and neutralize are expelled from your body in a timely manner, instead of being reabsorbed and sent back to the liver for a second round of forced labor. Furthermore, fiber is the ultimate prebiotic, the favorite food of the beneficial bacteria that make up your gut microbiota. A healthy and diverse microbiome plays a direct role in liver health, helping to maintain the integrity of the intestinal barrier and reducing the passage of pro-inflammatory substances to the liver. For a person actively seeking to reverse fatty liver, setting a goal of consuming between 30 and 45 grams of fiber per day can be a transformative change. Start your day with a bowl of whole oats with berries and chia seeds. Make sure every lunch and dinner includes a generous portion of vegetables. Always choose the whole grain versions of breads and pastas. Incorporate legumes into your diet several times a week. These changes not only feed your intestinal allies, but also actively cleanse your system and give your liver the respite it desperately needs to begin healing and mobilizing that stored fat. Number 3. The power of cruciferous vegetables. If we had to design a family of vegetables in a lab specifically for liver detoxification and protection, the result would undoubtedly be cruciferous vegetables. In this exclusive club, we find broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, kale, radishes, and arugula. What makes these vegetables so exceptionally special is a group of compounds called glucosinolates, which, when chewed or chopped, are converted into isothiocyanates, the most studied and potent of which is sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is an incredibly powerful activator of the liver's phase 2 detoxification pathways. Let me explain it simply. Liver detoxification is a two-step process. In phase 1, the liver takes harmful toxins, pesticides, pollutants, drugs, and, through a series of enzymes, transforms them into intermediate compounds, which are often even more reactive and dangerous than the original toxin. In phase 2, the liver uses other enzymes to take these intermediate compounds and bind them to molecules like glutathione or glucuronic acid, making them water-soluble and safe so they can be excreted from the body via urine or bile. Sulforaphane acts as a master switch that massively accelerates this second phase, ensuring that toxins are completely and efficiently neutralized and eliminated, preventing the dangerous intermediate compounds from causing harm. For people with fatty liver, this mechanism is doubly beneficial. Not only does it help cleanse the body of environmental and metabolic toxins that overload the liver, but rigorous studies have shown that sulforaphane can also reduce oxidative stress and inflammation directly in the liver tissue. Furthermore, it appears to have the ability to improve fat metabolism and may help prevent the progression of steatosis, fatty liver, to steatohepatitis, fatty liver with inflammation, and fibrosis. The best way to maximize your sulforaphane intake is to consume these vegetables raw, in salads for example, or lightly steamed or sautéed. Overcooking them, especially boiling, can destroy the enzyme myrosinase, which is necessary to convert glucosinolates into the valuable sulforaphane. A particularly potent way to consume it is through broccoli sprouts, which can contain up to 100 times more sulforaphane precursor than mature broccoli. Adding a generous portion of cruciferous vegetables to your daily diet is like hiring an elite cleaning and repair crew for your liver. It is one of the most direct, science-based, and effective strategies you can implement starting today. Never underestimate the healing power of a simple plate of steamed broccoli with a drizzle of olive oil. It's true medicine served on your plate. Number 4. Use healthy fats to fight bad fat. This statement might sound at first glance completely contradictory. Fight fat accumulation by consuming more fat. It is absolutely crucial to understand and burn this concept into your mind. Not all fats are created equal. While trans fats, found in ultra-processed foods and commercial baked goods, and an excess of low-quality saturated fats can be extremely harmful, monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, with a special emphasis on omega-3 fatty acids, are incredibly beneficial and therapeutic for a fatty liver. These healthy fats act as an anti-inflammatory balm for every system in your body, and especially for your liver. The quintessential source of monounsaturated fats is extra virgin olive oil. Is much more than a simple cooking medium. It is a functional food, loaded with polyphenols and antioxidants like oleocanthal, a compound that has been shown to have anti-inflammatory properties so potent they are compared to ibuprofen, but without its side effects. Multiple studies have concluded that a diet rich in extra virgin olive oil can significantly reduce fat levels in the liver, improve liver enzyme profiles, and decrease systemic inflammation. To dress your salads, to drizzle over cooked vegetables, or even for cooking at low and medium temperatures. Then we have the anti-inflammatory superstars, omega-3 fatty acids. These are found abundantly in cold water fatty fish like wild salmon, mackerel, sardines, anchovies, and herring. Omega-3s, particularly EPA and DHA, are perhaps the most potent anti-inflammatory nutrients nature has to offer. Their mechanism of action is multifaceted. They actively reduce inflammation within the liver, improve the insulin sensitivity of cells, which helps prevent excess sugar from being converted into liver fat, and can even help decrease the amount of triglycerides already stored in the liver by promoting their export and oxidation. If you're not a big fan of fish, there are excellent plant-based sources of omega-3s in the form of ALA, which the body partially converts to EPA and DHA, such as walnuts, chia seeds, and freshly ground flax seeds. A handful of walnuts as a mid-afternoon snack or a tablespoon of ground flax seeds in your morning oatmeal can make a substantial difference. Avocados are also a fantastic source of monounsaturated fats, fiber, replacing unhealthy fats, a winning combination for liver health. Fried foods, margarine, shortening, and refined vegetable oils, sunflower, corn, soy, which are high in pro-inflammatory omega-6s, with these healing fats is a fundamental and non-negotiable step on your path to recovery. Do not fear fat. Learn to discern and choose the fats that your liver loves. Number 5. Movement is the liver's best medicine. However, combining smart nutrition with regular physical activity upon which is liver health is built. The accelerator in the liver's healing process. And no, you don't need to become an elite athlete, run marathons, or lift massive weights. The most studied and beneficial type of movement for fatty liver is consistent, moderate-intensity aerobic exercise. Activities as accessible as brisk walking, swimming, cycling, or even dancing are incredibly effective. What's the science behind this? Exercise triggers a cascade of wonderful effects in your body. First, and most obviously, it helps burn calories and induce sustainable weight loss. Crucially, exercise targets the reduction of visceral fat, which is the metabolically active and dangerous fat stored around your organs in the abdominal cavity and is intimately linked to fatty liver. When you start to lose weight, your liver is one of the first places your body mobilizes that stored fat from to use as fuel. Losing just 5% to 10% of your total body weight can dramatically reduce liver fat, inflammation, and the risk of fibrosis. Second, exercise drastically improves your body's insulin sensitivity. When your muscles become more sensitive to insulin, they are able to take up sugar from the blood much more efficiently to use for energy. This means there is less sugar circulating in the blood, which in turn sends a signal to your liver that it doesn't need to produce and store as much fat. It is a direct and powerful way to turn off the tap of liver fat production. Furthermore, recent studies also highlight the benefits of resistance training, weights, resistance bands, bodyweight exercises. Increasing muscle mass not only raises your basal metabolic rate but also creates more storage depots for glucose that are not the liver. The general recommendation is to aim for a minimum of 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week, like a brisk walk where you can still hold a conversation, or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise, like running, ideally combined with 2 strength training sessions. You can break this down into 30-minute sessions, most importantly, 5 days a week. Above all else is consistency. Find an activity that you genuinely enjoy, because that is what will keep you moving in the long run. Think of movement not as a chore or a punishment, but as a celebration of what your body can do and as a direct message of support to your liver, telling it, "I am working with you to heal." Number 6. Reduce your toxic load and sugar. Just as important as the foods and habits you incorporate into your life is what you eliminate or drastically reduce. In the modern world, the number one public enemy of a healthy liver is, without a doubt, sugar, and more specifically one of its forms, fructose. Fructose, found in massive concentrations in high fructose corn syrup, present in virtually all sugary drinks, candies, baked goods, and processed foods, has a unique and perverse metabolic pathway. Unlike glucose, which can be used by almost every cell in the body, fructose is metabolized almost exclusively by the liver. When the liver is flooded with a deluge of fructose, it has no choice but to fire up the machinery of de novo lipogenesis and convert it into fat, triglycerides, at an alarming rate, directly contributing to hepatic steatosis. Therefore, eliminating sugary drinks like sodas, energy drinks, and processed fruit juices, even natural ones due to their high concentration of sugar without fiber, is perhaps the single most impactful and rapid step you can take to help your liver. It is essential that you become a label detective. You will be amazed at the amount of hidden sugar found in sauces, salad dressings, breads, breakfast cereals, and ready-made meals. In addition to added sugar, refined carbohydrates, such as white bread, white pasta, white rice, and bakery products, act in a very similar way in the body. They are rapidly digested and absorbed, turning into glucose in an instant and causing the same insulin spikes that promote fat storage in the liver. Their whole grain versions, which contain the valuable fiber that slows sugar absorption and nourishes your microbiome. Finally, although we have focused on non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, it is imperative to mention that alcohol is a direct toxin to liver cells. If you already have a fatty liver, consuming alcohol, even in amounts you might consider moderate, is like pouring gasoline on a fire that is already burning. It adds an additional toxic workload and inflammatory stress to an organ that is already overloaded and struggling to heal. Giving your liver a complete break from alcohol, at least during the active healing period, can dramatically accelerate your recovery and prevent further damage. In summary, reversing fatty liver is not an unfathomable mystery reserved for the medical elite. It is a logical, achievable, and empowering process based on basic and immutable principles of human health. It is about nourishing your body with real, nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory foods, rich in polyphenols, fiber, and healthy fats. It is about moving your body in a way that brings you pleasure and joy, to burn accumulated fat and reprogram your metabolism. And, crucially, it is about consciously eliminating the substances that overload, poison, and damage your liver, mainly sugar in all its forms, refined carbohydrates, and alcohol. It is a recalibration of your lifestyle. This path is not a one-week to yourself and your long-term health, but the results can be surprisingly fast and rewarding. Many people begin to see significant improvements in their liver enzyme tests and in the reduction of visible fat on ultrasounds in a matter of months, not years. The key, as with everything worthwhile in life, is consistency. Every healthy meal, every walk outdoors, every conscious decision you make is a firm step in the right direction, another brick you lay in the reconstruction of a healthy, resilient, and functional liver. Your body possesses an astonishing healing intelligence, perfected over millions of years of evolution. Your job is not to force the healing, but simply to create the right environment for that innate intelligence to work its magic. You have the power to give your liver a second chance, the opportunity to regenerate and serve you with efficiency and vitality for many decades to come. The energy and well-being you long for are not in a distant, unattainable future. They begin with the next meal you choose and the next step you take.